What's up? What's up?
Kind of get in the middle of that.
What's up, YouTube? What's up, Facebook, Instagram? Everybody, we popping. We need to have like just one with like 5 different. Like if you guys would see our like setup, you guys will all be like, you guys are like popping. What's up, Parisha? Queen Diamond. What up? What up? What up? You catch that? Did you catch that HRP trade though?
Oh my gosh, here she go.
Anyways, okay, so listen. Make sure I'm even. I'm in the middle of everything, right? Middle here. Oh, I like it back. Let me just get righty tighty. You know, you laid out like, we good.
Yeah.
We got some here, so good over there. Okay, so
hey,
today.
Everybody on YouTube.
What's up?
Where we at on here?
YouTube,
Facebook, Instagram.
Yes, and we need one more Instagram, but it's all good. We'll just share the content later. I would love to get on my Instagram, but I gotta figure that out. We might have to exit here after a couple questions and maybe go over there. But what's up? So it's Q&A. Well, the first thing we wanted to get into is a little bit about our background. Why did we come to this Q&A scenario, sir?
No, ma'am. This was your idea.
Okay, you got your notes?
No, I don't got my notes.
Oh, he's just too smart for the game, right? So a little bit about us. We've been together. For some of you guys that don't know us, I'm Jennifer. This is Brandon, and we've been together. It's gonna be
together 13 years.
13 years together, officially married. It's gonna be 6 years in June. So we've been on quite a roller coaster. We've been on, some good, some up, some down, some great, some bad, some good, and all the above. You guys know how it is, right? Which is okay. That's one of the things. And I'm a mental health therapist, by trade. I'm also an entrepreneur. We have our marriage business. We have our travel business. We have our investors accounts and businesses. So we are entrepreneurs, together. We are partners in some of them. And some of them is just me. Some of them is just him. And we have 2 kids, 8 and 4. Can't believe it. They're getting super big. And they're 2 boys, amazing, Francisco and Fabian. And, just been an amazing process, an amazing journey. And one of the reasons why we wanted to get into a little bit about us before the Q&A is because we want people to understand that we're not perfect. We're imperfectly perfect. I like to say that. That's a good one, right? Yeah. I like to say that because for my people that know me for years, they've seen what Brandon and I kind of came out of. They've seen what we've been through. They've seen our storms. And it's been it was a struggle. It was some challenges. And some people, we're just gonna get down to the meat and potatoes. Some people didn't know that years ago, we actually have brought up the word with the letter D, and it doesn't mean what I enjoy. It means divorce, and we all know we don't like to really. That's not a topic that we should, or many people really talk about until it happens, and they're like, "Oh, what happened? Why they're getting divorced? Why they've been together this and this?" And people are getting, they're shocked. Well, we were one of them. Like, we didn't really talk about it. We're just going through our emotional roller coaster. We're going through our ups and downs. But we really prayed really hard. We had some counseling. But there was a time, guys, that I didn't like him. He didn't like me. We didn't like to be in the room together. Like, it wasn't like horrendous. We wasn't like throwing stuff at each other, but it got a little, intense, right? We just wasn't feeling each other. And it came down to the point that I asked, and me and Brandon talked, and we said, and we're not going to get too deep because that's going to be like an actual like divorce topic night. But I did say to him, and I said to myself, like, what do I want? Jen, is this what you wanted? Is this the type of marriage you wanted? Is this what you hoped for your marriage? Is this what, you have the kids, you have a family, everything is so beautiful. We're doing good. We have our money, our house, or this or that. What's happening? And that's when, Brandon and I talked, and we both said it because, he was also, he'll tell you how he felt. And we both said, you know what, we don't want a D. We want to kind of see where things go. We want to work on it together. We both came to agreement, ladies. We both came to agreement, wives, that, we're going to work on our marriage. It's our priority. It's number 1. And, we made a promise and a vow under God that we're going to do what we can. Of course, I will say, side note, unless it's any abuse or adultery, then, it's okay to walk away. It's in the Bible. It is. But we didn't have any of that. So we were like, okay, what are we doing, right? So long story short, we came through that. Brandon was like, babe, we're going through this struggle. We're going to, be able to bless some people someday. I looked at him like, you're crazy. Like, how are we going to bless somebody? Like, we're going through some nonsense. And here we are, years later with our marriage business, growing, blooming, grateful and thankful. So I just wanted to get into that Q&A before, information about us, a quick little 5-minute icebreaker. Before that, I don't know if Brandon, you can tell them, about yourself for the guys.
So, fellas.
What's your name?
You already said my name like a million times. Anyway, so,
see, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so basically, like, she was talking about, our relationship had our seasons, we had our roller coasters, we had our ups, we had our downs, and at the end of the day, basically, we came together on a common ground and said, how can we make this work, Another thing we started doing, we started putting God first in our marriage,
Like heavy.
That was the first thing and the first step that we took far as bringing us back together and getting a little bit closer. And then the counseling and then marriage groups. We got plugged into a lot of different marriage groups, which was very helpful with different situations, different things that we had. And then I'll tell you about the marriage group. So once we got plugged into these marriage groups as well, we started realizing that other people had the same issues and problems as us as well.
Or worse.
Or worse, Or you'd be like, dang, okay, our situation is not that bad, Or sometimes it was like, we can relate with a lot of people what's going on in their situation. And we got some great mentorship over the years. And then also on my part, I actually joined a men's group. And my wife at that time, she joined a women's group, which was great for both of us, because those are the things that you can relate with other men that are going through the same situation in their marriage as well, too. And that was good because that was like a space and like a brotherhood that you can actually talk about, what's going on. And then it's not really no pillow talk. It's just the struggles that a man is going through his marriage or just through, how we go about life. And the same thing for Jennifer. So she started going to her women's group and things started getting a lot better, with the both of us. So we decided, over the years, this has been manifesting in our heart and in our mind. So then, this was the year that we decided that, it's time to, really plug into a lot of people out there in the world and bless a lot of people that's around us, far as that are married, because we was going through that, and what you want to say?
I was gonna say, and we realized when we started going to community, to people, to other outlets, sources that can relate, not like some single bachelor to tell us some tips, right? That a lot of marriages don't discuss and don't want to be, or it's just not open a conversation to like, hey girl, I'm going through some issues with my husband. We might separate, or it's just getting that bad that, we just can't stand each other. Like, it's not a normal conversation that wives and husbands are having just publicly or to people. And I'm not saying that you got to tell people your business, but people are not, from what we noticed, when we saw, people just don't do it at all. Like, not even, like, even to their close friends. Like, even, because we don't know what our family might think, or family, like, even for us, our families, we didn't go and let's talk to them about this. No, that's when we went to our community. So we noticed that thing too of being open, and that not that many people do that.
Yeah, and just to go ahead with that, and it's people that we have been around that's been married for years, and they do have good advice, but every marriage is different, of course, right? So, whatever worked for somebody for 30 years don't mean it's going to work for us, right?
Right.
So we just had to take the good things out of the contents with different marriages and stuff, and the things that start working for us and implicate them in our marriage as
Mm-hmm.
well. So, with that said, guys, thank you again for tuning in today.
Tell us about yourself a little bit.
I don't know.
Like, no, you told like your the background situation. Like, what about you? Like, what do you like to do? Who are you? You know.
Well, again, like I said, my name is Brandon Barker. She said it a lot, but me, I am pretty much an entrepreneur. I like to help a lot of people. Far as giving back is in my heart. I love feeding the homeless. That's one of my passions. Coaching. I love coaching kids. I feel like being a mentor, and that's another thing. Even before I had kids, I was coaching football, and I coached basketball before I had kids, and that's a good thing because a lot of kids that are in these recreational sports don't have a man to look up or a father figure. So I felt that at that time I could be a role model or some type of mentor in their life. And it's been fulfilling for me because I actually got kids that are going to college that I coached. I got one kid, he plays football for Kansas State. I got another kid, he plays football for Middle Tennessee. He's actually captain of the football team in Middle Tennessee. But it's a couple of guys that I coached along the way, and it just brought joy to my heart, just by, being an impactful in their life at certain times that they was going through stuff, and actually being able to be a role model for the youth. And I tell a lot of guys, if you can get involved with that, if you love sports, I think that's something that you should really take your time out, take at least a season to do it.
Yeah.
If you don't do it at all, just do one season. If you know so much about sports, or you played sports, or you got the knowledge, take one. Even if you don't have kids, or if you do have kids, take a season just to be a coach. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's really you're gonna feel like those kids that you're coaching, like they're your kids.
Right.
You're gonna have that strong heart for them. Like, these are my kids. When they get fouled even hard, you're gonna be standing up for them like you their daddy, and everything, or a penalty or anything like that. So,
but babe, besides that, you do have a corporate job.
Yes.
So because a lot of people, wonder. Move over this way, babe. A lot of people do wonder about you. Like, what do you do? Do you work? Do you this? You're always around the world. You're always different, businesses, different lifestyle, different luxury, different. Yes, So for me, I have my part time, but it's from home, which that's a good thing. So for down the line, that's a good topic of discussion. Like, how do we work through a marriage where he's a corporate 9 to 5, well, really 7 to 3, which was better hours. But anyways, I'm not gonna go there. And for me, working from home, because side note for like the wives, some of us understand where just because I work from home and I'm an entrepreneur mom, it's expected or assumed that dinner and house and clean is going to be all set all the time. That's not the case, and that's a later conversation. Him and I talked about it all the time. But so that's about you. Like, you do have some corporate. You do have your license for insurance adjuster. Like, you do have. We're in multiple pots, and it's okay to have our hands. That's what we should do. It's not even okay. It's in the Bible that we should have multiple trades. We should be masters of multiple trades, because if not, you're going to be a slave to your money for the rest of your life. And that's another conversation. But anyways, so let's get to the Q&A. It's been 13 minutes, 12 minutes. Q&A. Okay, so this is good. This is good. I'm excited. Whoever is on, my peoples. Yeah. First of all, it's going to be anonymous.
Anonymous with all the questions.
So of course I might say like wife or husband, but I'm not going to say like, oh, Sasha from the Bronx told me, asked me this question, right?
These are really good questions. Actually, I didn't take notes.
Did you actually read the question?
No, I didn't even read the question. I didn't read the questions.
He just got like 3.
But I got about like 5 or 6 of them.
Where?
But that you told me.
Oh.
And then I got some questions too. But on that aspect, I was going to take notes, but I kind of really wanted to just,
be from his heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at him. I like, guys, if y'all don't know me by now, I am the note taker. I have the notes, the notebook, the notepad. I have like 18 different pens and pencils on my table. If y'all see my desk and you see Brandon's desk, you'll be like, oh, okay, that's Jen. This is Brandon, because I'm the one with the books, the notebooks. I have every type of notebook you can imagine, every journal. That's just me, right? So listen,
I usually take notes.
He's minimal, but anyways. So first we said 10, and you know what? I get excited because I want you guys to know that you guys can ask questions while we're live.
Yeah, you can.
So don't think that this Q&A is like, how come I didn't get to tell her my question? Brandon and I, we talk to our everyday people, like our friends, our couples, that even from like work or from different places. So we ask them, even some of my family members, I've asked them, hey, you have a question, marriage, text it to me. And if it got in before 6-7 o'clock, I'm gonna just ask and discuss it. So if you guys have questions while we're live, shoot it out there. If you feel like you don't want the people to know that it's your question, you can message us directly while we're on here, and I'm pretty sure it'll pop up on our screen that you send the message, right? Yeah. So I don't know what you want to start with, because I ended up actually ended up getting 16, almost like 20 questions when I was like, let's just do 10. So God be looking out, man. He went far and beyond. I got like 4 questions in like the last 30 minutes before we got on.
So number 1 question.
Well, I kind of don't want to go in order because I don't know. I guess we'll do it. Okay, number 1, it was what is your dream date?
Oh, that's a good one.
That was a good one. Shout out to my boy. Right, that's a good one. What is your dream date? And when he said this, he said nothing about money. It's not about what's the budget. No, think about the time because remember, the Barkers are all about manifestation. First of all, babe, you gotta keep going out. It's about manifestation. So hey, you might write this down, put it on a wall or something, and it can happen.
We should do that.
We should do that. I like that. No budget. And I had someone else, another of my mentors said that. Oh, our friend Nick, he said, have you guys ever done a trip with no budget, no money, no nothing? If not, you should do one at least once in your life. And I was like, oh, that's good. But listen, dream date, babe.
You want to go first on that?
I didn't even think about an answer.
See,
what is yours?
That's women for you right there, because the date thing, they feel like, oh, it's what you gonna do.
Well, listen, we talking about a dream date. Let's get a private jet.
Exactly.
Take me to Paris, and we can have. Matter of fact, listen, don't get me started with a dream date, because it's a date, which means it could be a whole day.
Yeah.
So we could leave early in the morning on our jet. Stop. I would do like a Paris breakfast at the. No, I don't even think I would do the breakfast there. Breakfast in Italy. That's what I would do. Breakfast in Italy, and we would shoot over to Greece for lunch. Like y'all playing? Listen, we're not playing, right? All the way. My boy probably like, I just met in Atlanta, Jen. Like, not all this. And then dinner in the Eiffel Tower. On a romantic, rose petals. Come to the hotel, which I don't think you've ever done that, so that would be pretty nice. Come to the hotel and have all the rose petal. I'm not a rose chick, but that's really sexy though. Have the rose petals laid out in the tub, all that stuff. So that to me is kind of like a dream date, like a private jet. Mm-hmm. And I know I would like to get some in a private jet. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool, guys. So listen, that's me. Just off the top of my mind, what am I thinking? What about you?
So, my dream date, start off waking up with, at a nice fancy hotel with breakfast in bed. And then, I would love to go do some yoga together. I
thought he was going to say get some.
Yoga.
In the morning.
No, cause that's the nightfall for me. The yoga and stuff like that. So we'll do yoga. And then we will actually fly out to somewhere in the Caribbean.
Well, some of it is manifesting because we just got some yoga mats.
Yeah. So we'll fly out to the Caribbean somewhere.
The Caribbean.
Yep, to a nice beach. Chill at the beach. Pretty much majority of the day. While we're on the beach, we're getting full body massages on the beach. Man,
I like his dream date better.
Full body massages on the beach.
Hey.
With champagne. Coming to our side.
Dream big.
Or maybe even mimosas while we get our massage. After the massage, probably get back on the plane. And then we'll head to like Dubai to do some shopping.
This I told y'all, like, this millionaire right here gonna be nice. I can't wait.
Do some shopping in Dubai, or we ain't gotta really go to Dubai. We go to one of the nice places to shop and get some nice stuff just to get, but we don't gotta carry it around. And then we would have dinner or lunch somewhere in, I don't know, we'll have dinner somewhere nice. Okay. Oh no, we'll have dinner in or lunch in like Saint Tropez, on a yacht.
That's your spot. I
on
forgot.
a yacht. We'll do that. I haven't did Saint Tropez, but I want to do Saint Tropez on a nice yacht. We'll cruise the yacht until the sunset. Watch the sunset on the yacht, and then I like ending it maybe like you said in the Eiffel Tower on having dinner in the Eiffel Tower. That'd be
with
nice.
A butler or something like that. So, babe, I want to keep the answers at like 2 minutes.
All right, okay. That was just happening.
Okay, so this one I'm gonna kind of not get too into it because it was just like really hypothetical. But it was, am I a good spouse? So this question here, I like it because a lot of marriages don't consider, or they don't really sit and talk about this. Like me and Brandon, man, you keep moving. Mm-hmm. Me and Brandon, when we have our family meetings, we ask each other, or I do a lot. I'm like, babe, are you happy? Do I make you happy? Are you happy here? Am I doing a spousely good job, or is something not right? So that's good. I put on here, outserve one another. Brandon has been on top of this lately. God must have came and knocked on his door like, sir, I need you to outserve her, because he's been going in about the outserving lately. Caring to other spouses' needs, that's a big deal. It's not just about, me as a spouse. What do you think about that question?
Am I a good spouse? Mm-hmm. For the most part, I think I am a good spouse. I think I can.
Well, no, I didn't say if I was a good spouse. I was just saying what we talk about when it's about what's a good spouse.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, I do think you're a good spouse. Do you think I'm a good spouse?
Yeah.
I'm getting better.
We both can. We could tweak up a few things, but yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So, anything else?
No.
Okay, so the next one, shout it out. The next one is, are you, or what if your connection, do you have a connection with your spouse when you're having sex? So, bam, somebody mentioned it, which I knew was going to happen because sex is a big thing in marriage, right? Mm-hmm. And it was brought up, like, what if the spouses have different, like, what if there's no connection? What if the connection is, one is,
I'm just giving him some just to make him happy, or she's just giving him some to make him happy?
Yeah.
I think that right there, it can happen. Like I say, like if you giving the other spouse some just to make them happy, those moments do happen. You better stop. Those moments do happen.
Checking my trade.
But for majority of the time, I think that you should always be connected with your spouse.
No, but what if it's not? Like, what if, because again, guys, we are saying, like, listen, let's be real.
So what if you're not connected with it?
What if they're not in a good place right now? Like how we were 2-3 years ago, or 3 years ago, or something like that. We weren't in a good space. So sexually, we weren't really connecting, intimately bonded. Because, when this question was asked, I asked the person, like, how did you feel? Oh, of course I love my spouse, blah, blah, blah. I said, no. How did you feel? Did you feel that connection, that bond, that oneness, the unification, the marriage, like connected? So, but what happens if they're not in a good place? So maybe the husband might feel connected because, he's like, oh, she's sexy, she look good, But then the wife might be like, no, I'm not really feeling him right now, but I'm going to give him some. So there's no connection.
Well, I think that goes with setting the mood and setting the tone.
Not necessarily, babe. Think about this. What if they're not in a good place?
If they're not in a good place, that's a hard one right there. Because if they're not in a good place,
hey, amiga,
that's something that they kind of really need to talk about. You know what I mean?
Therapy.
That might be a therapy or a counseling session that needs to go on. If they're not connected to their spouse, and then they got to ask the questions of why they're not connected to their spouse.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna write this answer. Why not?
Why are you not? And is it something in the past that make you not connected to them? Is it something that they're doing currently? They might not be doing something, right in the household that is just like, yo, I can't even deal with this person. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not having that connecting, you got to ask some questions of why I'm not having those connecting.
What can I do?
Yeah, what's the solution?
Because I know that connection, and this is why I love the Q&A, and I wanted to talk about this because we were there and now we are here. So I feel like it's like an experience thing. Like when you have a job, like you don't have the experience before, but you have it now. So you know what? Let's talk about it, or let's get this, job elsewhere because now you have experience. So I feel like we could talk about certain things because we were at the place that we were connected, then we weren't connected, then now we are connected. So you feel the difference of the connection, the need, the love, the bond, the unification. And so it's a big deal.
And also going back to
April said, get help. Yeah, therapy.
Yeah, therapy, or going back to what made you fall in love with that person.
Question though, when it talks about getting help, and this is my own question. What if one of the spouses doesn't want to get the help?
What if they don't want to get that
What
help?
if like the wife is connected, the husband isn't, and he doesn't want to go to family marriage counseling with her, or vice versa? What if she's not connected, he is, but she's like, hey babe, I'm not connecting with you, let's get some counseling, and he's like, nah, I'm good?
Well, I think the one person that want to take the counseling, I don't think they should deny the counseling if that's what they want to do. I think they still should keep going.
Oh, that's why April said you go alone.
You should still go regardless of it. And then, that's when you can also, after counseling on, you could still talk to that person. You could talk to your spouse and you still have those questions and have those conversations. Right. You don't actually have to say, oh, the counselor told me to ask you this, or the counselor, you can flip it in your own way.
Because that makes it worse, because they didn't want to go to first place. Now you're bringing the counselor stuff home, they're going to be like, get on my face.
So you don't even got to say the counselor told you, but if the therapist was there, you would ask her, like, what questions would you ask my husband just for me, and then that's when you can take those questions home, and then you like, hey, can we talk, have that, hey, can we talk? That's
what April just said, work on yourself.
And then when you have that talk, you might ask a few of those questions.
Good. Next one. I'm going to jump down to this one because this was one of the first questions that was sent over to me. This is good. My friend gave me a scenario where her and her husband, they're having, the question was, where are the boundaries when it comes to family asking for financial assistance and emotional and mental support because they're going through some issues. So they're coming to the husband and the wife. Maybe they need some money, maybe they need some guidance, maybe they need some tips, some help, something. But it's getting to the point that it is emotionally draining the marriage. It's getting to the point that they're not able to say no anymore. And they haven't been able to say no. So the question was, where do you put that boundary? What do you do with that?
So, far as the money thing,
because she said money, mental, and emotional help.
Well, I'm gonna go with the money first, because the money is the thing that got to be discussed between you and your spouse on, how do y'all want to help people, and usually if it's loaning money, like it can't be a reoccurring thing. That's just one thing. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be.
So do you give them like, hey, babe, if we're gonna help, cousin Tyrone for something with a car or something, are we only gonna help him like 2 or 3 times, or we're only gonna do a limit of $1,000 or $500? Like
you talk with that, and like if you feel, and with loans, when somebody usually, I'm gonna tell you, as far as asking for a loan, if somebody comes and asks you for a loan, and I learned this a long time ago, If they ask you for $1,000
and you got it, extra.
Majority, sometimes you can't expect to have it back. That's
the number one rule. Don't expect to have it back.
Don't expect to get it back. But if you do got it and somebody say, hey, I need a loan for $1,000, you always tell that person, well, I got $500, because they will find a way to get that other $500. If it's necessary, you say, hey, look, I got $500. I give you $500.
So but this is what I'm trying to say. So when you figure that out, okay, we already did that.
Yeah, right.
But how can we put the boundary to say no? It's enough. Like enough is enough.
So when you do that loan, you say, hey, I'm gonna help you out this time. Me and my wife gonna help you out this time, but we can't do this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Me and my wife talked about it. We got stuff we got to handle too as a family. I don't have no problem helping you because you family. I don't have no problem helping you, but when you keep coming to me, now I'm handicapping you.
Yeah.
You can understand? You're not doing what you need to do. You know, you done turned into a handicap situation, and now you're starting to affect the money in my household.
And you gotta have goals, like especially if it's financial. Like we gotta sit down and talk about what are we doing with these goals. Like, are we gonna do a weekly? Like, are you applying to jobs weekly, or like what are you doing? And now we go into the emotional and mental part now, because it's draining. She said it's draining me and my husband. You know, it's hard for them to say no and not to get involved. And for me personally, when it comes to like mental exhaustion, mm-hmm. and mental and support, like you can always support, but there have to be a boundary of, is this going into my self-care?
Yeah. And
is it going into our... Like, now, are we having problems now because of this situation? And it has to be to the point that it's like, babe, we got to tell Joe and Uncle Tyrone that we just, when he calls us next time, we just got to be like, hey, man, I'm going to need you to call, therapist Joanne from the block and really talk to her about what's happening, because I'm not the therapist. Mm-hmm. I'm not even though I'm an actual therapist, my family knows. They don't even call me when it comes to certain things, because I'm not going to be a family therapist for free on top of that. And then family problems, because now you're stressing me, which is going to stress us.
And the thing is, you got to remember, when you marry, everything is together, right? If you got like us, we got 2 kids in the household. They play this game all the time. One to come
they're doing pretty good right now. They're quiet.
One to come ask her a question, and then another one come ask me a question. That's when we gotta communicate. Like, hold up, did he ask you that question?
Yeah.
Because it could be that one family member that only asked the husband, like, "Hey man, let me get $500." And
you gotta keep that open communication.
And then you getting the $500, and then the wife like, "Hey, I seen you took $500 out. Now it's a..."
Or maybe the husband didn't even say nothing. Now I'm thinking we got the money in the account, and then you like, nah, babe, I'm kind of short. I did this, or so the boundary has to be placed from the beginning. And if it didn't get placed at the beginning and it's going long, where now you guys are drained and you're like stuck in the middle of how to say no, you have to just be like, listen, dude, our marriage is first. Mm-hmm. We're drained, and I know, and I get that when it comes to family, sometimes you don't want to tell somebody like, man, we're drained, we got so much going on. You don't have to get into detail. You don't have to get in, about the husband or wife. No, you don't have to do all that. But you could just have a conversation like, listen, I know you're going through a lot, but, I just really can't work with this right now. Like, there's so much going on, or, you have to just be out there with
and them. Also provide other resources.
Yeah, that's good.
A lot of things I'm going to tell you like this. For one, this is one reason I love our church.
10 seconds.
I know, real quick. This is one reason I love our church. If you're going to church actively and you're involved in a church, I'm saying that church should be willing to help you when you come into those type of situations. That's another thing too.
Especially with like mental.
Yeah. Support or any money or financial situation. If you're actively in a church or something like that, you can say, hey, you know what? I understand you got these problems going on, but my church got a great program that will help you with this and help you get back on your feet. And, maybe they can give you a job or something like that. But I can't be we can't be your first outlet. You get what I'm saying? And then, like, a lot of people hate when, like, my wife meet people on the street. she'll get their number. They need help, she'll get their number. If we ain't got the cash on us right there, she'll get their number, say, hey, let me get your number. I can direct you to our church, and we got some resources that can help you. And they be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because sometimes people would just use you, and they don't even want. And I'm not saying family always does this, but family can be the first ones to be like, oh, I know they got it. I know they got most. And that's the thing. Some families also assume. They assume, oh, Jen and Brandon, they travel the world. They got their businesses. They this, they that. Oh, they got millions. I love it. I'm like, keep thinking we do. I love it. But they assume, and now they're like, we're the scapegoat. Like, oh, Jen and Brandon, let's call them for this. So, working on that. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to get off this YouTube, and then I want to go on my Instagram. This one's a good one. If you argue, do you sleep in the same bed? Is it okay or is it not okay? And then, even if you don't argue, do you ever sleep separate?
If you argue, first of all, the argument
this is right on time.
Yeah, the argument should be resolved really before y'all both go to bed. Or at least if it don't get resolved, that's when you need to be like, look, we're gonna have to talk about this another day. If I said some things to offend you and I'm not understanding right now, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? And that's vice versa for the other person.
But do you sleep?
No, you don't sleep in a separate bed or nothing like that.
Yeah, we don't play that.
And only time if we ever was to sleep separate, it's like one of us just passed out on the couch or something.
That's like that. One. The other time I would say that we do sleep separate, and I'm not gonna lie because I've done this sometimes. If I'm upset with him, and he's trying to get some, and I'll be like, I'm just gonna go sleep with the baby tonight. I'm gonna go to the baby because I know if I go to sleep with the baby. He's not going to come in there 9 out of 10 times to try to, hey, what's up? Come here. But if I'm upset and we're not in a good place and he's still trying to maneuver his way in, he wins. Listen, lady, let's be honest. Wives, the spouse, he's going to win. If he's doing the right moves, he's going to win. And I'll be mad, but I'll be like, all right, guys, sure. You know what I'm saying? So I got to go to the boys' room, But arguing and sleeping in separate rooms or beds or whatever, no. Like we don't think it's okay.
Yeah, we think that's the roommate situation.
And remember they said, I think it was at church, like no matter what, you sleep together, stay together, because like God forbid that one argument you guys have and the spouse goes sleeps on the couch or the other guest room or whatever, and God forbid that spouse doesn't wake up. And then because you're still angry or whatever the case may be, you go to work.
You didn't hear them that
you
night.
You didn't even go in there
to see if they was choking
or nothing. So, like for us, so we don't do that. We don't, we don't really get into that. And then, so let me get off this face. I'm gonna do 5 more minutes on YouTube. Another one. Oh, this is good. How to stay together. This is one of my people's. It's actually one of the family. How to stay together as a family when you have different goals.
How to stay together as a family?
When you have different goals. Because, go ahead, babe, because this is good.
Listen, it's nothing wrong with having different goals,
To an extreme.
But, you can't let those goals go on and on and you're not accomplishing them. Like, you can't be telling somebody I'm doing this goal and they're not seeing progress.
Or vice versa. Like, what if it's a scenario where you're not goal setting at all? You're just there living day by day, going to work, living just the average Joe life, and I'm over here aspiring to become, mayor of the state or something and doing all these things and just go get her. And yet you're still just sitting on the couch because your day off and you're just watching Netflix series and hanging out or YouTube or I don't know, whatever. I think that's a situation where it comes, our goal sets are way off. Like I'm goal setting on a 7-figure account and you're goal setting at $50K a year. And that's a big, for me personally, that's a problem. Yeah. For me, because eventually what I feel can happen is you start outgrowing each other. And then when you start outgrowing one another, the temptation starts coming in, the devil starts creeping up, and I'm, and this is looking from a female's point of view. My husband is over here worrying about 50K a year. I'm over here worrying getting my million. You telling me that at the event there's not gonna be another millionaire that looks fine? I'm just saying, I'm being real, like for real, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the spouse sex or there's nothing wrong with our intimacy. I'm not saying none of that, but it is gonna start causing friction. It is, we're gonna start going like this, and now I'm over here working on, this $1 million mansion, for example, while he's over here trying to renovate the floor at our current house. Mm-hmm. For example, like to me, it depends on how deep this is. Like we have different goals, and I know what you were saying. Like I get what you're saying. Like your goal might be to open, a car business over here, and my goal might be to open a spa over here. That's different goals, but we're still aspiring to a higher level. Mm-hmm. So that's where I feel like if this is happening, maybe you do have to have a more serious talk. And this is honestly, and I hate to say this, but this is lots of times when you see 30 years go by, 25 years go by in a marriage, and you hear about a lot of divorces. Mm-hmm. Because for 10 years, maybe
outgrowing that other person.
Yeah, because we are just totally on different pages, and I just stayed for the convenience, for the comfort, for finances.
Now, if you see that, I also think that was really good. The way you broke that down. Yeah. That was really good. I think also if you're on the same note like Jennifer was saying, as far as like if they're sitting around and stuff, I think you should give them certain tasks to help you get on your goal. You get what I'm saying?
But what if they don't do it? What if they just ain't about shit?
Like that right there.
It happens.
It happens. But I feel like you said, I feel you should still put them involved in something, because then.
But what if there's still, like, you can try that, babe. I hear what you're saying. You can say, hey, babe, let's do this, or come hop here. You can, but I've seen, especially coming from a therapist point of view, in my career, I've seen this happen. I've seen where the wife, she done got 15 businesses, but the husband, because maybe one of his businesses fell through and he got his goal and dreams crushed, he just doing the average day-to-day living, comfortable, just living because maybe he's making decent money, but he's actually not really happy and fulfilled. Meanwhile, the wife is fulfilled, happy, excited, energetic, glowing, popping. Now she's also, is to the point that now I'm starting to get turned off. I'm not. This is where it goes to the connection with the sex. Now that connection is falling off. Now it's like, oh snap! Did I just sleep with this man? Did I just have an adult affair? Like, and things happen.
And so that, like I said, that's right there when you really gotta have that conversation with that person, and let them know what light you seeing them in. Mm-hmm. And it may hurt their feelings. It may hurt their feelings, but some people. Sad to say it, some people get motivated
when you go
in on them. I'm sorry, I see it all the time at work. You might have that worker that's just lazy, and then the day you tell them about themselves, then like they're the best worker. Like, yo, you could have been doing this. Like, mm-hmm. I see the value in you. And so sometimes you might have to go in and be like, look, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, because that'll help them get. And they might get mad during that session. They might not even, want to hear you out. But in the back of their mind, they hear you.
And then sometimes, and then we're gonna move forward.
Now, if they just being disgruntled and just hear you, and then they're like, you know what, I'm gonna do this to make it mad. Then you already know what it is. Then Yeah.
And then you gotta also think about this. Like, when is it okay to walk away? Like, when is it okay? And listen, guys, we are not about divorce. We're like, let's marriage all the way. But if there is the validations, which is the adultery, the mental abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, things like that, yes. However, I also feel like if one of the spouses is unhappy, If one of the spouses is like miserable, you're just like going day by day. Marriage is there. It is what it is.
And you did all your resources.
You did everything you could have did. It's been 15 years. It's been 25. It's been 35. It's been, and you're still not fulfilled and it's still not happy. Like sometimes it is like get the counseling, talk to God more, really find out like, is it okay for me to walk away? Because you also don't want to live an unfulfilled marriage life.
In that situation, you just gotta pray about.
Yeah, that's really big. Okay, YouTube, thanks for getting on. I'm gonna get on my Instagram. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Go to our page, direct.me/BarkerWorldwide. Thank you.